and it will power on. It should already be on. This is the IAconnects Intelligent Building Kit. It is an Intel MRS solution. If we take a look inside, it's an IAconnects gateway, which is running their Mobiusflow software. We have a number of sensors here. We'll go through those in a minute. So, first things first, we have instructions for everything I'm going to take you through in a moment. We have this, which I'd suggest either leaving in or putting somewhere visible, which takes you through the demonstration case. So this is a floor plan. It shows the different kinds of sensors that can be deployed for different kinds of use cases. So the first thing we do is plug it in. There's a little switch on there. If it doesn't turn on, flick the switch, and what you'll see is it starts to power up. So you can see the air quality sensor there starting to power up. One small thing, sometimes this powers on before the Wi-Fi on this. So what I tend to do is I wait maybe 10 seconds, and then I'll just quickly unplug this, and I'll then plug that back in so we know that there's a Wi-Fi signal for it to talk to reliably. We take our instructions. On this piece of paper is a wireless network with a password. Log into that wireless network. So we can see that we have that visible now. We can hit connect. So you'll see here it asks for 8 digits. Don't put your password in there. You want to click on connect using a security key instead. Here is where you present the Wi-Fi password. So in this case we have. Okay. So we'll let that connect. Don't worry about the fact it says there's no internet. There's not meant to be. It's meant to be an isolated unit. And then if we open up Chrome, I think Internet Explorer will work also. You'll see also on the instructions it gives you a web address. So it should be the same for all different units. So it's an IP address which is 10.42.0.1/dashboard/UI. So now we have our dashboard in 3, 2, 1. Thank you. And what I like to do if I'm showcasing this is to hit F11. Now be careful, some laptops, my laptop in particular, F11 will disable your Wi-Fi, so if you hit function, then F11, you can see it's all on one screen, so if you're using the screen, this is quite useful. And if your resolution isn't optimal to catch everything, then Control- or Control+, and you can change the zoom. What we can see here now, we have a few different sensors. So we have an air quality sensor here, which is obviously for things like office comfort, for example, or general building environments where you want to make sure you've got good air quality for the health of your employees, or for regulatory reasons. This is picking up carbon dioxide levels. So if you've got a busy office and not many windows, CO2 can become dangerously high. This will help you monitor that. You've got PM 0.5 and PM 2.5. PM is particulate matter, so that's dust particles in the air. So PM 0.5 is picking up small particles, PM 2.5 is picking up slightly bigger. So we can see over here, so here's our CO2 VOC, so that's volatile chemicals in the air. Doesn't do carbon monoxide, and then our particulate matter over here. So you'll see now, if I give it a good dosing of CO2 and breathe into our sensor, you'll see over here that this all starts to creep up. Humidity's gone way up because of my breath as well. That's on the same sensor. Bit of CO2, some small dust in my breath apparently, not great. And apparently I have some volatile chemicals in there as well. So that's going to give you an indication of office air quality within building environments and whatever else, which might give you better ability to look at how effective your AC is being in terms of air circulation, all these kinds of things. And then we also have our water sensors. So this is for detecting leaks. So in a building environment, This is going to be placed under sinks, under any area where there could be a leakage. And what it has is a number of cork discs. And when they get wet, they expand. So if we take a look, where are we? Here's our leak detector. They expand and they will click the button and you can see a leak's been detected. You can dry this out and reuse those cork elements about 10 times before you've got to replace the cork rings. But generally speaking, having more than 10 leaks in one go is a significant problem which no one really wants to have. We have desk occupancy. So we can see here our desk occupancy is saying that it's free. So this has, you'll see now that I'm messing with it. So now that desk occupancy has gone to red, this is doing two things. It's looking at PIR, so infrared under the desk, is it detecting movement? It's also looking at body heat, see if there's anything residual. Someone must be sitting very still at their desk and you don't want to say it's unoccupied. We have general occupancy, which would sit on the ceiling, for example. Now this is showing as red because I've opened the case, there's been movement, but this is what you use for meeting rooms, for example. Temperature, humidity, so if you're not wanting all the fancy stuff of air quality and everything else, we have a temperature and humidity sensor here. Now these are all, just to point out, low power radio connected using either N-Ocean protocols or other low power radio technologies. And these are effectively talking to these devices here, which are bridging that connection into this device. And these are wireless as well. These will connect to the same Wi-Fi network as this device to make that information available. The nice thing about N-Ocean is that typically it's energy harvesting. So the idea being a button like this has no battery, probably just a small capacitor, and the action of clicking a button, so you'll see our switch here, that's turning our lighting on and off in this case. Just the action of clicking the button is creating enough kinetic energy to allow it to send a message. So if you start looking at large environments, you want to deal with lighting or whatever else, you can dramatically reduce the power of how you're interacting with that from a wireless perspective. And then we have our open and close door sensors, or window. So you would have the larger piece on the outside of the door frame and the smaller piece on the frame of a window or a door. And then you can detect here, so the tick is saying the window is closed. We pull those apart, the window is now open. So that's the kit. This is designed to be carry-on in terms of transporting on aircraft, being flown around. Nice and simple. Thing to point out, dashboards are great. You can go into any cloud system, into IBM, into Microsoft Azure, for example. But the real value is in the fact that you can integrate this data into building management systems, AC systems, lighting systems, and it's actually around the action that you take from the data rather than having pretty visualizations, which of course you can do and you can generate all sorts of reports. So hopefully this generates a business for you, and please feedback the experiences you have with the kit.